Bonjour, on est toujours au hacking de l'hôtel de ville en direct de l'hôtel de ville de Paris. Donc avec monsieur Gibaud qui est représentant de la Hong Kong Graduate School of Business. Mr. Gibaud, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
What kind of partnership is necessary for develop in China?
I think it's not always necessary for the startups to go to China to have a partner or to have a partnership. It depends on the stage of the company. When the company are relatively young, sometimes we would encourage them to develop it themselves because their technology is young and their team is young. If you work with a partner, the partner could potentially take over your business. That would be a disaster. But if a business is already quite sizable and quite mature, have a mature business model, they just need a partner to generate more sales. In that case, we will encourage them to find a specific partner, for instance, a distributor or someone who will market their product or someone has a channel to deal with the product. And when in the later stage, we actually encourage them to be more independent. For instance, many large multinational companies go to China, they don't use partner, they do it themselves because they expanded to other parts of the world and they know how to develop a business in a foreign country. And they also have financial resources to deal with that. But in any case, when you deal with the partner selection, we always encourage that you should look for the complementary skills, not look for a competitor because that would be a disaster for you. But look for someone who can offer you something you don't have, but then you can still offer them something they don't have, they cannot catch up with. So in this case, it's like a marriage, and then you can carry out successfully in China.
What are the administrative process to setting up in China?
Yeah, there are many different forms of the administrative matters. For instance, you can set up a WOFE, which is wholly owned foreign entity, which require you to report to the government and to have qualification and basically license. And then you need to provide a lot of documents, just like in France, you got to go through a lot of papers for that. And then finally, you have to prove that you have sufficient fund to operate the business. But you can also set up something called a representative office, which means that you cannot sell, but you just act as a rep office in China. So before the rep office, you don't need to pay for the tax. Now they do tax you based on the expenses you have. For instance, you didn't generate any revenue. You're not allowed to generate revenue. But then you had an expense of 1 million, let's say 1 million euro. Then they will apply a tax toward that 1 million expenses. Because they don't want the company to go there just to set up a rep office, but yet it's actually a sales office.
And last one, do you have an advice for a young entrepreneur who want to set up in China?
Yes, of course. First, the Chinese market is very exciting. We encourage them to go to China. It's far better than going to America. Many people go to America because everybody go there. But we always encourage them to go to China because in China you don't have much competition. You don't have a lot of foreign companies, startup companies go to China, but many go to America, go to Silicon Valley. So in that sense, you are better off going to China. And we have a program called China Star Program through Hong Kong Graduate School of Business. We help them to eliminate all the hurdles, including understanding China, and then create a potential partnership in China. I mean commercial partner, meaning, for instance, we connect them to Tencent, to Alibaba, to those companies so that they can sell their product or services to them or work with them to implement their technologies through those large commercial companies. And then finally, we help them to raise the money in China. So this is a fantastic program that I encourage all the startups to join us. Then we can help them, really help them in China.
Thank you, Mr. Rowe.
Thank you very much.